Hi, this is John from Stupid Robot Fighting League, and we're well on our way through the proof of concept. And so what we're doing now is we're finishing off building the Guykit 2.0 wooden version. The idea is that we need to test the frame and everything for strength. We need to break things to see what breaks first. I want to see what sort of wire I should be using to hold this guy together. And so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to put together Guykit. So we've cut out all his shapes from the cardboard cutout, so that gave us size and scale, and we need to test weight now. And I bet there's a few people watching this that think, oh, that's an air raid siren, you're going to be bombed. I'm in a small town in Te Puke in New Zealand, and that's our volunteer fire services siren, so that goes off a fair amount. It's just something that we're used to here. It's practice night, so they always test it on practice. Yes, so I will shoot a time lapse so that you won't get insanely bored with me putting together the wooden model, and hopefully we'll be able to build another one and then smash the living daylights out of each other with it. So we'll take you along for the ride anyway. So we'll see you in the time lapse. So, Guykit is now all, or the wooden version is now all assembled together. Thanks very much again to Peter, my brother-in-law, for giving me a hand. I was able to trace everything while he was, cutting them out. And as you can see, again, it's some of the finest woodworking you'll ever see on YouTube's. And just some notes. Yes, I'm using way too much wire, but I'm envisaging that it'll need tightening or loosening, so I'm just giving myself enough wire to have a play around. I have no idea how it's going to behave. It may be too stiff, assuming there's more thickness compared to the cardboard, so I just want to give myself enough room to play with. Yes, it is an eye-poking hazard, and yes, my carport is a complete pigsty. You don't need to comment about that. So let's hang this guy up, eh? Sweet. I've secured Guykit to the frame. At this stage the board is, or the bit of wood's holding it fine. One problem I could envisage is he's a bit cross-legged here, but that may or may not be a problem. But yeah, he's hanging alright. That'll probably be the first thing to snap. We'll see how she holds. What else? Oh, so I'm just going to push the rod through. I've taken off that. I'll take off this block and just attach it straight to the back of his head. I think he may be sitting a bit low, so what I'll do is I'll just shuffle him up a little bit and then attach that. We'll see how he carries. So we have wooden Guykit hanging up in the octagon in all of his wooden glory, held together by fairly thin wire. And so I'll show you how all I did was stick holes in his feet and attach them with screws to the 22 by 22 timber there, and same thing. Sorry about my finger in the shot. On that one, as you can see, two different thicknesses of timber. That's pallet wood, and that's something else. But the idea was to keep it all higgledy-piggledy, because that's what people will be dealing with. They'll be dealing with junk to build their robot out of. And so anyways, so yeah, next thing for me is to I'll show you how I attach the head as well. The head doesn't hang, the head's fairly solid. That may change. We may hang the head from here, bring this up, you know, this bar up, and actually hang the head, so when he gets hit in the head it may spin and look better, but for now I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I'm going to test it, so we'll see what happens. Just to, I don't know how much of the GoPro got, but I've definitely got some valuable information from that test. To start off with, this arm here was very stiff, but it sort of loosened up after a while. I reckon the shoulders are too stiff. They need to be loosened off quite a lot. They need to be able to be flexible, and this arm here was fine because it was I think because it had two thin pieces in there. So but this arm here has one thick piece in here, and it was quite stiff, but it eventually sort of loosened up a bit, but it's not as movable as that arm there. Now the biggest mistake I think I've got is making his shins out of thick material here, because yeah, it makes it quite cumbersome to move his legs. But other than that, the other thing was that I think the bar needs to be higher as well, and because as he came out, the pole was bending and he was basically doing the splits on the floor. So these need to be lightened up, you know, into smaller material, but he'll need thicker feet, I think. But we'll stay with that, what he has for now. And other than that, I think those are all the adjustments I'll make, and then we'll give him another test and see how he goes. But it's still a thing, which is cool.